Road racing. The ultimate test of a true racer is to survive all obstacles, from conquering the daunting turns to having a reliable car. The place is Sonoma Raceway, the lone road course on the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West Tour, and a critical one where a full-time regular's bid of a title could increase insurmountably or simply bite the dust. One man has been able to accomplish these obstacles, and he's back. Will Rogers, dominating the likes of Eric Almirola and Jagger Jones, to name a few out of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series drivers. Can a gig with Levine Racing continue the trend of bringing track specialists into a race and score the victory? Not only that, can Rogers win 2 in a row and change the championship trail, as we all know right now? With the additional wildcard that is the carousel, there's more at stake than ever before. And one of those headlines goes beyond the carousel and the man. Look no further than 2 weeks ago when Hailie Deegan, the gal second in points, dumped her Bill McAnally Racing teammate Derek Kraus, who leads the championship, for her second win of 2019 in Colorado. Deegan pushed her car to the absolute limit at Sonoma and escaped wine country with a 7. With some help by Rogers, a strong result in a stacked field could boost confidence on a bid for the championship. However, she'll have to deal with new core drivers such as former Daytona 500 winner Austin Dillon, multi-time modified champion and the master of survival Brian Priest. Daniel Hemrick is simply looking for a NASCAR victory. Multi-time Truck Series winner Noah Gragson, known in the Pro Series for rubbing fenders with Todd Gilliland on several occasions, even winning some of those. Then finally, former McAnally racer Cole Custer, who's battling for an Xfinity Series champion, one of the big 3. He'll drive a third Bob Brucati car, and eye on a second West victory, but could also play a role of stopping the McAnally cars from winning and perhaps help Jagger Jones and Trevor Huddleston, the most recent winner in the state of California, get back on track after tangling each other in Colorado. No matter what the headlines say, once the green flag dropped in the Procore 200, all of that's out the window as the field have their vision of one goal: surviving the obstacle and take the coveted trophy. Round 6 of the championship trail is just moments away, and it starts right now. Alrighty, episode number 12 of West Coast Wednesday. It is the second episode of the day because not that long ago, hopefully you've already seen it, my review of the last race in Colorado. This one is the preview for a stacked Procore 200 at Sonoma Raceway, which will take place Saturday, June 22nd, with live stream coverage from fanchoice.tv at 1:15 p.m. Pacific time, 4:15 Eastern for those who live in that area. Wow, that entry list, as I'm recording this on a Monday, you're listening to it 2 days later after I recorded this, stacked field, 33 preliminary entries, and this is on a Monday. We could probably see more. So, let's really talk about that entry list because it is a mouthful and a half, maybe more. So here we go. Here is, in numerical order, the grid. The number 1 car, yes, Jim Engelbright is back. It will be a different look, a different sponsorship this time around. It will be the American Auto Body Specialist Incorporated. He'll be driving a Ford instead of the yellow number 1. But who knows? We'll see how it's going to look on the racetrack when I head there this week in Sonoma. Man, I'm just looking forward to this one, even though there are some pros and cons of having a super stacked field. Number 6, Jagger Jones. He needs a turnaround. And this will be an interesting race for sure, because when you think of Jones, you think of road racing, especially P.J. Jones, Jagger Jones' father. Unlike I said on that NBC TV graphics video where I said P.J. Jones is Jagger Jones' son. I'll never let that botch down. This will be an interesting race for sure. He'll have. And then, number 7, a reunion. Jeff Jefferson is going all in with this lineup. He'll have former K&N West winner. He's won on the road course. He swept both races in Utah several years ago. Noah Gragson, the driver to the number 9 Xfinity Series ride from JR Motorsports. He'll be going at it. He'll be one of 2 Xfinity regulars who will be racing. Of course, the Xfinity Series will have no race other than the truck race at Gateway Sonoma is to stop the B. for K&N West and the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Travis Melbourne in the 08 car and the car Idaho GCS Ford. The JPR Ford is what is enlisted for Noah Gragson, by the way, as far as sponsorship-wise. Number 9, Trevor Huddleston. He did not have a good race at Sonoma a year ago. He was one of the many drivers that fell out of that race. He will need a big performance because he dropped from 2nd to 4th after that last lap tangle that he initiated to after what happened with Deegan and Kraus. He'll need a huge turnaround, and this is going to be an ultimate wild card. This is the race, and I mentioned this a little bit in my review from the Colorado race. You do not want to have a bad race at Sonoma. When you look at this grid, you do not want to have a bad race at all. If you finish in the bottom 10, you can probably kiss your championship hopes goodbye. This is why I call it the wild card race. This is why there's so many storylines. It's more of a wild card than those combo races with the East Coast, because this one is West. You don't really have East at all. And I'm honestly surprised of one team that is not entering. That is DGR Crossley. After a year ago entering Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, there's no DGR Crossley. That is a spoiler, but who knows? And that could honestly change. But I would have liked to see Tanner Gray drive this race for the number 15 to add another wrench in this wild card. But it is what it is. He's finished second in every one of those in those key races he's driven, by the way. Anyways, Matt Levine, number 10 car. There will be 3 Levine entries from the top of my head as I'm reading this, for sure. Let me double check. Yep, there are 4 Levine cars. Yeah, there are 4. I told you I have to double check because I'm doing this raw and immediate. It's not on a script format, even though it would be nice to have one, so I'll be more consistent instead of flopping all over the place. Matt Levine, who wrecked out a year ago, was the first retiree, not counting the number 18 car of Bill Cann, who withdrew after oil leak during qualifying. He'll need a really good race if he really, really wants to be in that title hunt. He is the highest driver in the championship trail that is not from Bob Brucati or Bill McAnally. He sits 6 in points. Number 12, Lawless Allen in a Bill McAnally one-off. It'll be the Auto Park at Toyota with Doug George as his crew chief. What a name, Lawless Allen. He'll hope to have a flawless race, that is for sure. Todd Zusa, fresh off a 3rd place finish, hopes he doesn't have an engine failure that knocks him out of the running like he did a year ago. Number 16, Derek Kraus, championship leader. He finished 7th at Colorado. Could have won 3 straight races in a row. He will be looking for his 3rd win in the Can-Am Pro Series West. And if he does, depending on what happens on everybody else behind him, you can see this championship being in his favor, without a doubt. Number 17, former winner at Sonoma, David Mayhew will make his return. Number 18, Bill Cann as well. Number 19, Haley Deegan with crew chief Kyle Wolosek. That is the name of the new crew chief that she's had, Kyle Wolosek. I might have butchered it and just did not refer because I did not want to be incorrect. So I played the safe route. It is Kyle Wolosek. She'll be in the Monster Napa Power Premium Plus Toyota. Number 22, Cole Custer. I mentioned it in the earlier episodes. I believe it was the 2nd or 3rd episode, it might have been the 2nd episode where I mentioned that Cole Custer will be driving at Sonoma. It is now officially confirmed in the realm of the public. If you did not saw it on Twitter when I said it months ago, he'll be driving a 3rd Bob Brucati car, number 22. That was Trevor Huddleston's ride of a year ago when it was full time. Custer won with Bill McAnally back in 2014 at Phoenix, and I mentioned in the hype video, he could play a role in that championship bid. Could he win it? Who knows? But could he play adversary for Jagger Jones and Trevor Huddleston and stop McAnally from pulling away from this championship race? And maybe could see a Bob Brucati turnaround and lead to a back-to-back championship with the difference being our driver. The question is, who's going to be the one that will step up? Who's going to be the one that's going to be most consistent? Is it going to be Jones or Huddleston? A year ago, it was Derek Thorne the more consistent, and it showed a lot. Ryan Partridge faded away quite a bit. It just did not deliver. So this will be interesting. He'll be in the Abiok Spring Sunrise 4 Lucas Oil machine. So no, you'll not see a Haas automation look. In a rare occurrence that Cole Custer will be driving a car that isn't the 00, by the way. That is an interesting note to say. Cole Custer finished 2nd at Iowa, as I'm recording this yesterday. Christopher Bell got his 4th win at Iowa. 4th win of the season. He did it at Iowa, to be correct. Cole Custer has really turned his career around because people didn't really thought highly of him, but now he's just been one of the more fastest guys on the Xfinity Series circuit. And Custer has won some races in the East, including Watkins Glen. So he's looking for a second Can-Am West win. But another road course race will certainly help. Then, number 27, Ryan Preece in a Jerry Pitts car, the Clorox. Yes, we're going to have some that's going to be the one I'm going to be interested at. Because a year ago, and I take credit of this, the photo, you might have seen the photo of Alex Bowman's car from last year. The Frowny car, the Exalted car. Brock Beard took a picture of it and kind of went through the realms. NBC posted it. The Frowny car. I'll be interested. There will be no Frowny car. Well, maybe not. He'll be driving a Chevrolet number 27 Clorox. I think it's going to look beast. It's going to look beautiful. I can imagine that, that's for sure. Number 31, James Cooley in a Chevrolet. Cooley Construction is the sponsor. Dale Quarterly, number 32. So double check. Quarterly, yep. He'll drive the Van Dyck number 30. Wait, am I still looking at it? But yeah, Van Dyck number 32 Chevrolet. That's one of the few extras out there. Also, number 33, Paul Pedroncelli Jr. And a driver owner entry, it'll be the Pedroncelli Mobile Bottling Chevrolet. I'm looking through this at a phone, so bear with me. And that's going to be a name I got to master eventually. Number 34, Taylor Canfield. Oh boy. I said this in the review. He survived Colorado. It's sort of a semi-gag that you got to keep an eye on Taylor Canfield after what happened to Meridian. What is the sponsorship this week for Taylor Canfield? It is to be determined. So, who knows if we'll see the Joe Rogan experience back in the Can-Am West Tour. It's a nice pace to see. And an odd one as well, see a Joe Rogan car in the NASCAR world. Number 36, Ron J. Number 38 is the only entrance that is to be determined, but on the owner's side, it shows Bobby Hillis Jr. And yet, on the sponsorship side, it says Napa Butte Auto Parts Jason Just. And it's a Toyota. That we'll probably have a driver confirm after this is uploaded on YouTube and aired on Wednesday. Probably by the time I hit the track, I'll know who's in the 38. At DLT Files on Twitter to find out who's in that 38. Or you can look at Racing Reference to know if they update it in the next coming days. Number 40, that's the big one. This is the big one. You want a circle, you want a favorite, you want a dark horse. You do not want to count out this guy. Number 40, Will Rogers in the Sherwin-Williams and Realtree Chevrolet. Number 40, he is the defending winner. He almost pulled out the World Course sweep in both East and West. Well, albeit the West is only just Sonoma, but in the East you have a couple of road course circuits. He was just one spot away from sweeping it. The only guy to stop it was Brad Moffitt. Moffitt won in Iowa yesterday as well via the result of Ross Chastain being disqualified. And how many laps did Brad Moffitt land in that truck race? 0. You want to go all the way back to 1953 at the first Martinsville race to find a driver who had won but failed to lead a single lap. That was Lee Petty as a result of a scoring error that had Herb Thomas initially the winner but reverted back to second. But as far as a result of a disqualification, that might be the first time ever. It has happened before in the Xfinity, then Busch Grand National a couple of times. It affected Jeff Burton, affected Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, Mike Skinner. Dave Blaney was the winner for a period of time before they reverted it back to Mike Skinner at Atlanta 99. There's even an advert. I think an advert I saw a long time ago that had Dave Blaney as the Atlanta winner. It's kind of like, it's super confusing. It's sort of like Mario Andretti, Bobby Usher, the debate who should be the winner, who really won, blah, blah, blah. Except the Indianapolis 500 is more debatable than the one at Atlanta because you don't hear that at all. Depending on who you tell. Anyways, Will Rogers, no doubt the favorite. He in Rogers, by the way, helped Haley D. He has helped her. To get her, he pretty much gave her some tips. No, so could D and me more of a contender? She did finish 7th. She nearly put that car to near engine expiration date zone. So we'll see how she does. But if she has a strong run, outbeats Kraus, outbeats Jones and Huddleston, outbeats Brittany Samora, and with the stack field, good luck for Sonoma indeed if she really wants to be in that title chase. Because you're looking, honestly, at a 2 to 3-man title chase. 3-person title chase. But Will Rogers could throw a wrench into this complexity battle that is known as the championship trail. Rogers has pretty much done some off-road. He has an off-road background. He has a road racing background. And I would be shocked if he does really well again at Sonoma. I'd be shocked if nobody picks him up in the Xfinity or Truck Series. You want road specialists in those divisions because you're not going to have it in the Cup Series. Let me confirm that. There are 38 Cup drivers entered at the Toyota Seymour 350. Now, one of them are road ringers of any kind, of any form. Because, of course, Justin Marks retired from racing. And when I spoke to Justin a year ago for my piece that's up on Motorsports Tribune, it's a lost form with Arden Cup. You'll never see a Boris Said or Ron Fellows. You don't even have Chris Cook. You don't even have the movie man, the promotional movie man known as Tommy Drissi. You don't. All you have, honestly, that stands out is Reed Sorensen in the 27, J.J. Yaley in the 51, he who shall not be named in the 52. If you want to tell me why I'm saying that, DM me on Twitter and I'll explain you the details. It's the guy that wrecks the car and maybe got in the way of Alex Bowman at Kansas. Maybe. Honestly, would have loved to see Bailey Curry in that car at 52 because Bailey Curry, that'll be interesting. It may be a fun one. Sure, it's not going to be pretty. Sure, he may not get a top 30 or a top 25 like he did at Pocono, but who knows? I would like to see Bailey Curry in that car. Or Jim Engelbright, for crying out loud. Anyways, the time was coming. I knew it was going to happen eventually. You will not have road ringers of any kind. Oh, and the last notable, of course, Parker Kligerman is pretty much the only road guy, I guess. J.J. Yaley, sort of, not really. Because he's an oval guy, period, dirt guy. 77, it's Justin Haley, another Xfinity regular that's going to be at Sonoma, but not running the K&N West. He'll be in the Spire 77 car. He'll be making his second start after having a really superb run at Talladega before he got caught up in one of the big ones late in the race. All right, back to the K&N West side. Will Rogers' teammate, and how I found out about Will Rogers actually competing after all was from Cody Vanderwall's Twitter earlier in the morning. Cody Vanderwall, he finished second. He won the pole. He'll be driving a risk management machine. Number 50, Daniel Hemrick. He'll be in a Toyota. Poppy Bank is the sponsorship. Yes, a Toyota. Daniel Hemrick. Not a Chevy. Number 51, the 5150 car by Carlos Vieira. Vieira had a rough going. He was one of the few drivers that had damage, who was involved in an accident coming before heading into turn 11. He'll be competing. Number 55 and another Jefferson entry. That's what I mean by all in. Jefferson cars are, before I mentioned the 55, the Jefferson entries are number 7, Noah Gragson. Number 27, Jefferson Pitts. Number 27, Ryan Preece. Number 55, it is going to be Austin Dillon, the Daytona 500 champion of 2018. He'll be driving a Chevy. Sponsorship is to be announced. And if you want to see out of all the Cup guys that I can probably see win it, and maybe can give Will Rogers a run for his money, it's probably Austin. But honestly, I think out of those 5, it's going to probably more than likely be Noah Gragson. I can see probably Gragson. He's in the race-winning car from Sonoma. He's in the 7. He's run. He could have won in Mosport, Canadian Tire, a year ago in trucks, but he decided to be a bit of an ass, takes out Todd Gilliland. Yeah, you heard, that's why I mentioned that in the hype video. Todd Gilliland against, Mosport was not the first time they had altercations or contacts that cost one or the other a win. It happened in the K&N West. It happened in Utah. You saw the hype video. You saw what happened. But Noah Gragson, if he wins this race, he'll definitely will be a big win for him because he's been in a learning curve. He's been through a lot. I'm gonna call it spade. He's been through a lot, so a win will boost his confidence, no doubt. You saw it at the Michigan race when he came this close to probably getting that first win. He came up just short. He really wanted that win. He really wanted to beat Tyler Reddick, the points leader in the Xfinity Series. So my top three as far as the national regulars, Gragson is probably the best one out of the three. Custer in second. Dillon will be third. Priest and Hemrick, we'll see how they do. I don't expect much from them other than just gain experience. That is for sure. It'd be fun to see Ryan Priest get through the road course. It's gonna be a fun one. I honestly see. He's been fun to watch this season, and he's a wheelman. He drives regionals. He drives modifieds. He drives the national tour. He can do it all. We'll see how he does. Anyways, Rod Neela, number 68. He is another driver who competed a year ago that's making his return. He'll be driving the Rod Renovators Incorporated Chevrolet. Number 77, Takuma Koga, looking for his third straight top 10. Unlikely gonna happen unless some weird circumstances sees him up there. Number 78, Jack Wood in a Ford. Number 84, Rich DeLong III makes his return this season to the K&N West. He drove at the season opener. He's not been heard from, honestly, at all since. Number 86, Tim Spurgeon, another one from the Vegas group, running. Number 93, Austin Thom in the fourth Levine car. He drove a couple of races this season. He did not drive at Colorado. He did not drove. I don't think he drove. No, yeah, he did drove both Tucson races. I know he drove at Irwindale when I said Austin Thorn. It's Austin Thumb in the number 93. Brittany Sambora in the number 99. She'll be in the Ganeo Snap the Filters car. And then the 33rd and final entry that is listed as number 138 because there's two 38s. It's John Wood. So we'll see how that 38th cycle and that 38th saga unfolds because one or the other has to run. Or somebody's got to have to switch numbers. So we may see some tapes. We may see a withdrawal. We'll see some post entries. But that is your 33 drivers entered. And it took me about almost 20 minutes into this recording to get you the rundown of everybody. So let's transition to the guys that have won at Sonoma in the K&N West. Because it's been in a staple ground since 1969. The very first race. And there were two races in 1969, with the first one won by Ray Elder and the second by Jack McCoy. Jimmy N. Solo won from 78, 79, and 80, three in a row. The legendary Herschel McGriff has got a couple Sonoma wins in him, 83, 85, and 87. And as far as Winston Cup guys that have won, Ricky Rutt, 89, Rusty Wallace, 1990, Davey Allison, 1991, Ernie Urban, 1992, 93, Jeff Bonine, 94, Ernie Urban, 95, Dale Earnhardt, 96, Rusty Wallace, 97, Mark Martin. And here's why. You may be wondering, what? Ernie Urban, Dale Earnhardt won combo races. Ladies and gentlemen, the Winston West and the Winston Cup Series had combo races that actually counted. Winston Cup races actually counted as far as the Winston West Championship. You would have a provisional for the Winston West points leader or champion. As a matter of fact, the 1994 Brickyard 400, one of the big reasons why you had 86 to 90 cars is because you had pretty much the K&N West invited because that was part of that championship trail. And only Mike Chase made the cut. And I think somebody else told me AJ Foyt was driving a West car too, but only notably Mike Chase. But yeah, for the longest time, the Cup race at Sonoma counted as part of the Winston West Championship as it was known at the time. So that's why you see those Cup regulars winning in those races, especially when the Cup Series moved to Sonoma for the first time in 1989. Sunday's race will be the 31st running and the return of the Carousel. The Carousel is back, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, the West are going to run it. The Carousel. Add that into the wild card de facto of this Procore 200. You have a carousel. That's going to be interesting, intriguing, and exciting to see the return of the carousel. Of course, it's the 50th anniversary at Sonoma. But as far as since after the Cup Series race at Sonoma, when it was known as the Safe Mart 300 at the time, then in 1995 onwards, there were two Sonoma races, one as a West standalone. And those standalones, 1995 was Doug George, 1996 was Butch Gilliland, 1997, Butch Gilliland. He won back-to-back. Then the K&N West would not return to Sonoma until 2006, and it's been on the calendar to this very day. You had Southwest races continue, notably Kurt Busch winning it in that time period. He won one of those to Sonoma. Kevin Harvick won in 1998. And then he would win in 2017. In 2006, you have Brian Vickers. 2007, David Gilliland. 2008 to 2009, Jason Bowles. 2010, Andrew Rager. 2011, Joey Logano. 2012, it was David Gilliland. 2013, Derek Thorne. 2014, Kyle Larson. 2015, David Mayhew. Chase Elliott in 2016. Harvick in 2017. Will Rogers 2018. Since 2006, there has only been 6 West guys. 6 West guys that have won at Sonoma. Bowles, Gilliland, Thorne, Mayhew, Rogers, Ranger. The others are won by Cup regulars. When Rogers won, he's the first non-Cup guy to win since Mayhew in 2015. And then a good guy named Jacob Seelman said it best. It's not a Can-Am West race. It's a Cup Light race. To a degree. But with Will Rogers in this race, it's not going to be predictable. It's not going to be Cup or Xfinity regular runaway. It's not. I honestly think Rogers in a Levine car could do it. I think he could put on a good showing. But this could be the ultimate test. This is not a Jefferson Pitts car. This is a Levine car. The last time Matt Levine and the family entered a specialty car was Las Vegas, the dirt race, the inaugural dirt race. Sheldon Creed was the driver, and Sheldon Creed won the race. That's Levine Racing's final win to this date. Could Rogers bring a Levine entry to victory lane? That could be done. I think it could be done. But we're going to have to see how it works in practice and qualifying to see if he has what it takes, or it's just the Jefferson Pitt car that really makes Will Rogers stand out. Those are the type of questions people will ask. People would like to know, how is he that good, or is the car that makes it good? And I think in Gregson's eye, he's going to make sure that it's the car that can, and any driver that could be in it could win at Sonoma in that 7 car. It can be done. It honestly can be done. So, this is the race. This race could maybe determine the championship. If it's not over dramatic, if it's not like one or two that have a bad race, the others have good, this title chase could be more exciting than I expected or imagined. And maybe we will see that showdown at Phoenix in November. With that many entries, if one of those drivers have trouble early, like a Hailie Deegan, that's going to be an insurmountable hole to recover. And knowing her record in combo races or drivers from the East running, this is the one race that Deegan cannot have a DNF. She cannot have a bad race. She cannot. Derek Kraus, the same thing. Anybody in that top 6, Kraus, Deegan, Jones, Huddleston, Zamora, Levine, they cannot have a bad race. They cannot. If all of them do, then the title chase will be fine in the grand scheme of things. But if all of them have good or bad days, it depends who you want. If for this race, you want to be in the top 10. You want to finish in the top 10. If you finish outside, it's not a good day. Any other race, excluding the combo races with Iowa and Gateway, excluding those two, you want to finish in the top 3, maybe top 5. But in this race, a top 10 will be respectable. And with this race and with this carousel, it's going to add a lot of wrenches. And we got a couple guys that only run Sonoma. There's a couple guys that are just running part-time. This championship is going to be interesting. I have that feeling it's going to be interesting. But for those Hailie Deegan fans, this is the one race you do not want her to have a bad race. You do not want her to have a bad race. How she did in that ARCA race in Madison, she had a pretty good showing, but she had trouble at the very end. It's very hard to tell how to judge her in ARCA when she has those car problems so far in her ARCA career. Once she gets the ball rolling, then maybe we'll see. Then maybe you can say those questions like the real deal. She is the real deal. She's learning. But luck has not been really the favorable card for her except for that win in Colorado. So for that case, this is a big race. This is a big deal. And I think with Will Rogers giving her tips, she'll be fine. Derek Kraus, he's looking to win both championships, East and West, for the time being. He has a bad race. Deegan could be smelling roses and crystal water. Sparkling water, that's what it is. Sparkling water. Or the Molson ginger ales. Because, of course, she's 17, soon to be 18 next month. So, of course, I had to play better. It cannot be the wine. Because, of course, those are for people who are 21. And neither McAnally drivers who are in this championship battle, to my knowledge, and for sure are 21. If Gragson wins, then he'll taste the wine, and that's going to probably be an awkward victory lane celebration. And knowing what happened in the Snowball Derby, if this week was the Snowball Derby, victory lane might be interesting. It might be something you'll keep an eye on, and I'll tell you what happens. But I don't think, that's the thing about Gragson, is the maturity. Over time, he'll mature. Over time. The stuff that he's been through, this could be a big win for him. Sure, it's a K&N West win. To some, it's like big deal. But he could use a win, definitely. Any win, for that matter. That is for sure. As far as the Brucati cars, when you have Cole Custer in the mix, they're going to go for the win. All three of them. They're going to go for the win. And if you want the wild card, I'm going to give you my wild card pick right now. Jagger Jones. I've said that every single race it seems with Jagger Jones. I still believe he'll break through. And this is a road course. It's in his blood. The road courses. P.J. Jones, one of the finest road racers of the 1990s. He drove the Gurney Toyota to championships with Juan Manuel Fangio II and those guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sports car is kind of an in-between as far as I know what I don't know. But this will be an interesting one. If Jagger Jones is going to want to win Rookie of the Year, because Zamora has been knocking in that door. Brittany Zamora has been knocking in that door for Rookie of the Year. So both rookies are the big question marks. How will they fare? And I feel like this does not bode well for both. They could surprise me. Zamora could surprise me. The one to keep an eye on is for sure Jagger Jones, and that's the wild card. As far as the national guys, the national pick to win, Noah Gragson. As far as the regulars that are competing for the championship, Hailie Deegan. The overall winner in my book is going to be a toss-up between Gragson and Will Rogers. Cole Custer as well. But it's going to be Gragson or Rogers. Those are my guys that I picked to win the Procore 200 at Sonoma. And it won't surprise me if they do. You never know with this K&N West season. K&N West season, you just never know. This has been unpredictable. When you expect predictability, there's a twist. Always a twist. It's been the tale of all season, a twist, with the exception of those Tucson races that Kraus swept. See, he did fine because other drivers faltered, other drivers could not get going on a restart, and vice versa. All the other races has been pretty nerve-wracking. There's unpredictability. This one is no different. And I do see, it will surprise me if a regular does win. It honestly will surprise me. So, because honestly right now it's going to be Will Rogers or one of the national guys. So I see Seelman's point of it being considered Cup light. But at the same time, now that we have Will Rogers in this mix, anything can happen. Anything can and will happen. Kind of a bit disappointed that Cole Custer is not running Cup, the double duty, because honestly it's like he might be a double duty. Nope, we have somebody else in that 52 car that honestly I would like to see Jim Inglebright try. I would like to see Bailey Curry try. Unless Bailey Curry is running the truck race at Gatewood or whatever. But anyways, that's enough about the Cup race in Sonoma. This is about the K&N West. You'll see extensive coverage from my Twitter at the LT Files. You'll see a lot of content on Motorsports Tribune. On Twitter, just type in Motorsports Tribune or look at motorsportstribune.com. That's the site and outlet I'll be covering the Cup race. As far as the K&N West, that will be all on my own, under my own will and under my own power. The only thing K&N West, no, I'm not going to go into further detail, because the K&N West, the reason why I started this series is to keep my interest and passion about the K&N West in a different outlet. You'll see on my Twitter, and as far as the review is concerned, I'll figure that out, because the thing is, it's going to be another back-to-back episode. The high video is going to come out relatively quick, or it's not going to come out till Friday. Because after Sonoma, it is Douglas County and Roseburg. It's back-to-back races. They wrap up the month of June. So, this race right here, circle it, people. 1:15 Pacific Standard Time, 4:15 Eastern Standard, Procore 200, fanschoice.tv, or if you're at the track, don't miss it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be nerve-wracking. That is for sure going to happen. In an era where the regionals and even ARCA is considered to have the weakest of all weak fields, this is a really strong one. 33. In a race, you do not want to have a bad one at all, period. This is a don't-miss race. Cut and dry. The carousel is back. 33 cars, maybe more, maybe less. This is a championship. This is the wild card. This is all what K&N West is going to be going forward. Front to the hills, fight and claw, put a little bumper, and at the end, whoever wins will have earned it big time. So this will do it with this preview and to wrap up the back-to-back episodes of West Coast Wednesday. So until we meet again, Sonoma, it's going to be interesting. I've said it millions of times already. You do not want to miss it. I'm looking forward to be back at Sonoma. I'm looking forward to providing content. This is the first K&N West race I'll be attending this season. So for sure, it's all hype. But I'm pretty damn sure it's going to deliver. So for now, I got stuff to worry about, and I'll catch you guys later.